Hi everyone, welcome to Mr. Carlson's lab. Why the capacitor across the diode? Well, in this video I'm going to show you why, and you'll also be able to hear why that capacitor is put there. Let's get started. In order to better understand what's going on inside this little device known as a diode, I'll plug it into the test fixture down here and we'll take a look on the screen and I'll explain exactly what this thing is doing when it's in a circuit and working. And then we'll talk about why this little device creates noise and why those capacitors across the diode are needed. I'll actually give you an example of adding capacitors and removing capacitors from circuit while it's active, so you can actually hear the noise come and go. And we'll take a look at the noise on the scope as well here in just a moment. So what I'll do is I'll plug this into the test fixture here, just like so. Turn this over here and move this over to where I can see it, that little step right there. Move that up there. All right, so let's take a look at what's actually going on inside this little device. Hopefully that's going to focus on that okay. There it is. So you see that little step right there? That little step is where forward conduction of the diode is stopping. And this long area here is the area of interest. That's the area that I'm going to talk about here in a moment. It's a long time right here. Where it goes from the corner and around, the triggering is moving here. Where it goes from here around the corner to the top here is known as the depletion region. So you've heard of varactor diodes and tuning diodes and things like that because diodes can act as capacitors, right? So this is the area where the depletion region inside this diode is charging. So this is where it's acting like a capacitor. This area right down here, this long time delay, is where the minority carriers are being swept away by the reverse current. So just in this little area right here. And that little area right there is the area of interest. That area is known as reverse recovery time. And this little area is responsible for a lot of noise in a lot of different circuits. So what I'll do now is I'll move you over to an amplifier and let's take a listen and actually take a look on the scope at what that noise actually looks like and how we can get rid of it. Many circuits actually don't have these caps when they should. Now granted, they're not needed in all applications, but many circuits don't have them. Let's take a listen. All right, here's the example. So I've got these capacitors here removed from circuit and I can switch them in or switch them out of circuit. So these are going right across those rectifier diodes that you can see right here. So there's a set of rectifier diodes there and a set of diodes right there. So this is in a full wave configuration in this amplifier right here. So what I'll do is I'll turn on the ultra probe here. Well, there is good. Now this is going to listen into the circuit. I'm going to listen right at the output stage right here. So what I'll do is I'll turn the actual capacitors off. So basically remove them from circuit. Listen to that, isn't that crazy? Now I'll add the caps. So that's removed. That's adding the caps. That's as simple as adding that orange capacitor across there. These here are pretty much the same thing, but this is even less capacitance than that orange disc that you see there. So these are, larger capacitors, but again, less capacitance, and it's getting rid of the sound, that buzzing with less capacitance. I'll move this up towards the resistor here. So I'll show you what that looks like on the scope, that noise, and what to expect if you're looking for something like this, and you'll be able to hear it still. I'll maybe lean this into circuit or something like this, fasten this on here so that we can take a listen. If you're interested in building this device here, If you're interested in building this device here, all the plans to build this thing are up on Patreon. It allows you to listen right into circuits. It's very handy to use. In fact, this is the device that heard the audio in the wire recorder first out of that vacuum tube. Just by putting this probe up to the vacuum tube, we could hear that the circuit was alive. We could hear the audio, the person speaking. It's a fantastic tool. Great for so many other things, even listening to mechanical noises as well. So I'll do an entire video on this thing here in the future. There's a lot of talk about this thing, and if you haven't checked out my electronics forum, definitely check out my electronics forum as well. It's mrcarlsonslab.com. Check that out. Anyways, you'll see lots of people talking about their devices they've built there. I haven't really advertised that site a whole lot. I don't really talk a whole lot about it. It's kind of a quiet little area, but if you'd like, definitely check it out. Anyways, so what I'll do is I'll hook an oscilloscope probe up to the same area I'm listening to in here. I don't know if you can actually see this. I'll have to tilt the camera up because the chassis, you know what? I had this thing laying on the mat, and look what the tubes did to the mat. This is just for a moment, right? These 6L6Gs get so hot, they're sticking and melted to the mat. This is only one. There's 4 of them. There's 4 big divots in this mat for me laying. You see that over there? So anyways, I had to prop that up with some solder because it's so incredibly hot. Those 6L6s are crazy. What I'll do is I'll just shut the thing off, and I'll tilt the chassis and show you exactly where I'm tying in. So basically, listening in right here, right at that resistor. Keep an eye on the screen. I will remove the capacitors from across the diodes. Here we go. Look at that noise. I'll attach them again. And remove them. I'll just go over here and adjust the trigger just a touch. Look at that. That is a lot of noise. 2 50-cent parts will dramatically reduce that. Those 2 parts are the capacitors. This is the beginning to a brand new tech tip series here on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, or you're just enjoying my videos in general, definitely subscribe and hang around. You can also let me know that you enjoyed this video by giving it a big thumbs up. If you're interested in building that device that listens to the diode noise, and of course listens to many other things as well, that's known as the Ultra Probe, not to be confused with the Super Probe. There are hundreds of videos in my ongoing electronics course on Patreon, and all the information to build that device is there, along with many, many other projects for you to build and learn from at the same time. I teach vacuum tube electronics and solid state electronics all at the same time. So hundreds of videos there and many, many projects to build. It's a great place to be. Definitely check it out. I'll put the link just below the video's description under the Show More tab, and I'll pin the link at the top of the comments section. So if you click on that link, it'll take you right to my Patreon electronics course. Great place to be. All right, until next time, take care. Bye for now.